You were talking about copyright there. Can you tell us about some of the copyright issues over time? Like I'm thinking about Frisbee or Mickey Mouse, some of the stories you've relayed because...
I made a Frisbee. In fact, Johnny Carson threw that out to the audience at one time, and he says, okay, throw it back or none of you are going to leave the studio. It was really cute. But what happened, I made the Frisbee. I went and bought a 79-cent Frisbee at Walgreens drugstore. And I went ahead, I made a solid gold disc for the center, and I mounted a 1-carat gem quality diamond right in the middle of that. And it picked up, it got notices all over the world. Right away, it was covered by Associated Press, Reuters, they all covered it. And one day I get a phone call, Mr. Mobell, yes, we are the attorneys for the Whammo Corporation. Oh, that's nice. You went ahead and infringed on a copyright. I said, I did? I played dumb? He said, yes, you made a Frisbee. That is owned by the Whammo Corporation, made the hula hoops, whatever. And so I said, well, let me explain something. I took your 79-cent Frisbee, plastic Frisbee, I went ahead and put a solid gold disc, put a 1-carat diamond. It's been on every television show. I said, I think it would be smart if you talk to the principals of the Whammo Corporation to buy that from me. At that time, it was $2,500. That was the price I put on it. They ought to buy it, send it around to all the different companies that carry your product, and you'll attract a lot of attention. He said, oh, we didn't know that's what that is. I said, yeah, every year I do something spectacular, and it's picked up by the press all over the world. Oh, well, that's fine. He said, well, I'll talk to them to see if they're interested in buying it. Well, they never bought it. And another thing, someone that I said to buy the Monopoly set was Alan Hassenfeld. He's the chairman of the board of Hasbro. He just retired. I'm still one of the head people there. But anyway, I said, I got very friendly with Alan when I went to London and everything. I said, Alan, you ought to buy the Monopoly set. It's only $2 million. I said, you can send that around all over the country to FAO Schwartz's, whatever. Let them display it. It'll sell your Monopoly boards. You'll sell them crazy. He says, Sidney, if I bought that, my directors would vote me out of being chairman of the board. I said, Alan, then buy it yourself. You have the money. I got away with murder. I mean, some of the things that I say, I don't know how I get away with it, but I get away with it.
You do. But tell us about the phone, the cell phone.
The cell phone was another thing. That I asked Nokia. I contacted them one year. That's when they were really...
2000, around 2000.
Year 2000. I looked it up, by the way, with the publicity. Anyway, so I called them, talked to their PR department. I like to do this. They sent me a couple dozen Nokia phones to pick out whatever I want to pick out to copy. And I found the one that I liked because when you look at that cell phone, it'll be on display. It's studded, pave, butt to butt, all the way through with diamonds, rubies, sapphires. It's beautiful. Unfortunately, that was 10 years before Apple came out with their little cell phone, their iPhone. They made all the money. I ended up in the Smithsonian. Big deal.
That's a good trade. Wait a minute.
But I would trade.
Yeah.
Did I tell you, would I do it again? Yeah. I donate everything that I did to the Smithsonian.
And a little bit about the chess set, please, which is magnificent.
The chess set is magnificent. I don't think that's really been shown anywhere other than Georgia. Now you're going to show it. But that's the first time that was shown down in Cartersville, Georgia, for a whole year. That's last year.
Yeah, tell us.
And you're the second person to really show it. And it's beautiful. It's solid gold. All the pieces, half of them are solid gold, and the other half are silver. And because you had to have two definitions of playing with the chess set. Anyway, it's beautiful. When you look at it, it'll show you all this different stones. When I was on a lot of television shows, I was on CBS Morning News, and I should tell you a quick story about CBS Morning News. They called me, they wanted me to be on with Diane Sawyer and Bill Curtis. I don't know if you remember Bill Curtis. Mm-hmm. They were a pair that did the thing. And that was CBS. And so I flew to CBS. Where was that? Was that in Chicago? No, wait a minute. No, it was New York.
In New York. Diane Sawyer was based here.
Right.
Yeah.
In New York. I flew here. They put me up at the Essex House. They had me chauffeured, you name it, all over. They wouldn't let me do anything else. waited on me hand and foot. And they picked me up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do, like, we got up early yesterday, 4 o'clock to do the rehearsal, whatever they were going to do. And after staying up all night, I always brought myself a piece of black velvet, some little props to put on there. And I put those on, and I had the chess set. I had, not the whole set, but I had a few pieces from the chess set. Mousetrap, a few other things. And the girl that called me, the procurement, she came over, she says, "Sidney, you're going to probably be scratched today from the show." After being up all night, whatever. I says, "Why?" She says, "Beirut was bombed this morning. We are CBS Morning News. We're a news show. Your things are beautiful, but they're not really news with what happened in the world today." So I said, "Well, if I'm scratched, I'm scratched." Everything was out there. Just then, just shows you, lightning struck. The president of CBS walks by with Saul Bellow, George McGovern and his wife, and there was a sports figure, I can't remember who he was, and walked by, and he stood there, started looking at my things. He said, "I'd like to ask you something. You have all these spectacular items, I've seen them on television and everything." He said, "Do you actually sell any of them?" I said, "Yes, sir." He looked at me, studied me for about 1 minute, looked over to this girl. He said, "Mr. Mobell is definitely to be on the show today. This is the best thing that's happened today. We have to get people on an up instead of a down." And that was it. I ended up on the show. And one of the things shown on that show that Diane Sawyer had was the teething ring that I stuck in Kelly's mouth yesterday. That has to be really funny. But he said, "Anyone had this in their mouth?" They said, "Oh, no." Anyway, they shoved it in his mouth. But anyway, what happened there, Diane Sawyer was showing the teething ring. And she asked me, "What is it for?" I says, "I made it for adults. Someone that smokes, someone that bites their nails, any habit that they have, stick it in their mouth, they're going to forget about with what they did." So someone calls into the show. They said, "We think it's disgusting. If a baby gets a hold of that teething ring and a diamond falls out, that baby is going to choke to death." So at the end of the show, where they always take the props off, she says, "Bring back," at one of the intermission commercials, she says, "Bring back the teething ring." So they brought it back. She says, "Folks, remember I told you that someone called and mentioned that if a baby gets a hold of that teething ring, a diamond falls out, the baby is going to choke to death. Also, if the baby gets pablum on the stones, it's going to dull the stones." That's how they close CBS News, with all the screen credits with my thing sticking up where she's talking about. And that's the second time that happened. Another time it happened, Johnny Carson on the gold toilet seat.
Right.
He did the same thing, and they closed the Tonight Show with all the screen credits showing the gold toilet seat. They mounted it on a white toilet. I like yours better. You mounted that on black because everything I do is black and gold.
Right, it's your signature.
Perfect.
Speaking of that, so you've had hundreds of creations. I'm going to put you on the spot, Sid, though. I'm putting you on a desert island, and you can only bring tops 5. What would you bring?
I'd bring the eye. I made the eye. I hope you have the eye. That eye is beautiful. It's the same size as your eye. I didn't know what to do one year, and I figured I'm going to make an eye. I went ahead and did the iris in blue diamonds, pave. Put one white diamond right with the blue because nothing is perfect. And I got a 1 carat, I think a carat and 5, you may have the dimensions of it, of a pear-shaped, like a teardrop, diamond with a GI certificate of a D internally flawless. That's the finest stone you could get. I had a couple of those. I figured I'd use that for the eye. And a black diamond, the pupil, beautiful black diamond, solid black. Did it in 18 karat gold. And I ran an ad in both newspapers, the Chronicle and the Examiner in San Francisco. It was only a 2-column ad. That's not a big ad. And I put a price of $75,000 on it, even right in the newspaper. I didn't say call to see what the price is. I put $75,000. All right, that's number 1's the eye. The mousetrap,
Sure.
the sardine can, the Monopoly set. What else?
Chess set, maybe? Chess set, maybe? Or
The chess set. The chess set, right. I'll tell you.
We've got them all here.
You know, the thing that's really beautiful is the backgammon set. The backgammon set is made in 18 karat gold and platinum. The pips are in platinum and 18 karat gold. The ones that go backwards and frontwards, you know, looks like a pyramid. The cup, one of the cups was platinum with diamonds around it, and the other cup is 18 karat gold. And my wife said to me one day, she's jokingly, would you mind if I took the platinum cup and put it in the bathroom as a water thing to brush my teeth? I said, are you kidding? Anyway, we have a lot of fun. But I'd say the backgammon.
Those are great. All right, well, thanks. So we're going to open up for questions.